Morning, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. You're joining me and my dad today at High Hayes Fishery near Chorley for some mixed species method feeder fishing. Now, it's actually been a couple of weeks since I've managed to get out on the bank because of work commitments, so I'm really excited for today's session. I'm really excited to get some method feeders thrown about and hopefully get a few fish on the bank. Now, the second aim for today's session is to test out some of the new pellets that I've got in stock and also my new match wafter range. So my dad's come over before, I've brought him some pellets today, so he's picked a couple of different flavors and I've also picked a couple of different flavors, and we're both using different variations of my match wafters, all the same size. We've opted for the 8mm today because there's some really good carp in here, good tench, good bream, so we need a decent size wafter and we should be able to target all those species. So my dad's gone with the chocolate orange and also the pear drop, so that's what he's using. I'm using the super sherbet and also the plum, both light and dark variations which work really well together on the method feeder. You get really good contrast. So I've got everything set up. I just need to put some wafters on the hook lengths. We'll get baited up and we'll get the method feeders out. So what wafters am I going to be using today? Well, the first weapon of choice is the 8mm coca scope. So this is a coconut and Scopex flavoured wafter, and I'm also going to be using the power pineapple, and my dad's chosen the sweet candy, which is a pink washed out wafter. Really powerful wafters those, and I'm excited to see how well he does today. Weather conditions are decent today. It has put a lot of rain down over the last week or so I don't know whether that will affect the fishing. It can affect the visibility, and as we've seen on some of the underwater footage previous on the channel, it can really cloud up the bottom, so you need really visible hook baits. So I'm thinking the white and the yellow are going to be absolutely killer. Right folks, let's get some wafters on, let's get the method feeders out, and let's get some fish caught, hopefully. So the only thing that might not work for us today is there's not much of a breeze blowing down this side. You always do better at high haze if there's a bit of a ripple on. That's what we've found anyway. So on the left hand rod, I'm going to go with the coca scope. The smell coming off those wafters is ridiculous. These pellets are absolutely perfect. Obviously you've seen me make the pellets a million times on the channel. As soon as I got here this morning I got those soaking, and I'm actually going to complement that with some of the potent coca scope glaze. Now, as the name suggests, that is really potent. You really don't need much of this stuff. So let's get this down here to the left, down the side of these reeds. I'm hoping that my rod actually clears these reeds. Yeah, it does, just about. There we go. And the other rod I'm just going to add to the end of these reeds down here. Now, if I don't get anything in the margins straight away, I'm going to try over to the aerator. Now, the aerator's gone off now, but it was on this morning when we got here, so I might try over there. In fact, folks, I've changed my mind. I am going to try over to the aerator with the right hand rod to start with, and have this one down this left hand margin. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. What I find, and I don't know whether anybody else has figured this out, but on clear lakes yellow tends to do better, and on murky lakes like your normal northern commercials, pink tends to work better. I think it's just that little bit more visible than yellow to a fish, but that's just a little theory that I've got. Now, these wafters balance absolutely perfectly with a size 12, and if you wanted to use a smaller hook, I have got the same flavours but smaller on the website at www.westysangling.co.uk. So if you're targeting silvers and smaller fish, you might be better with those. There we go, just to the right of that aerator. Just sink my line. Perfect. We are fishing. Let's get a brewski. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit bunged up today as well. I was doing a bit of spring cleaning in summer on my house, and I've got really bad dust allergies, and it sends me into a bit of like a flu. It's absolutely horrible, but it lasts for like a couple of days after I've dusted and stuff like that. Horrendous. So if I sound a bit off, that's why. We're in, folks. Straight away on the yellow power pineapple over to the aerator. Not sure what this is. Very odd sailing type fight. Could be a bream. I don't know what it is, Dad.
We're just off.
No, I'm just at aerator. I'm going to try down there a bit later on. That's a carp, that's why. F1. Brilliant. On the power pineapple, look at that. Pellets hadn't even dissolved off the method feeder, folks. It was literally straight in, and it's wolf that power pineapple wafted down. Got it though, there you go. No, literally like 10-20 seconds max. Yeah, it's got some growths on it, that. Should we put some carp care on it, Dad? This fish has got a couple of abrasions and growths on it, so that's definitely disease, I think, by the looks of it. Right, good spray down. It's covered in it. Yeah, it's not well at all, that fish. Hopefully that helps it somewhat. What was that on, Dad? Hey up, he's in again, Let's get his tench back.
Oh, well, nothing on.
Has it come off?
Yeah.
Might have been a small hide or something. That tench back. Yeah. So was that on the sweet candy, Dad?
Yeah.
Awesome, first fish has fallen to the sweet candy. Obviously we know the washed out pink colour is absolutely killer, and it goes really well with sweet flavours. What I'm actually going to do as well, folks, is I'm just going to feed up this margin down here, just on the edge of them reeds, because I've got a feeling that we'll get a carp at some point down there today. Now it is tough for the carp at high haze. I never really bag up on carp here, because I think they come alive in the afternoon, and we never really do afternoon sessions here. Oh my god, that was a run. Oh, it ripped off, folks. Nice little F1. Oh, we're in on the other one, folks. Madness. Absolute madness straight away. I'll have to get it round these reeds here. Yeah, you can do, Dad. Yeah, it's just a little. This is a tench. So this one's on the coca scope. Oh, it's unhooked itself.
Yeah, that other one.
I'd unhook the other one.
Oh, I did.
Right. A couple of breaks, a little fish there. Good start. Literally can't believe how many people are here. Never this busy on a weekday, especially so early. What are we? 7:30. We've been here since about 6 o'clock. Not too bad in these pegs. I've got a little bit of privacy for filming. It's quite a long old trek all the way around this side, so not many people come this far down. Got my barrow with me today. I didn't fancy carrying all my gear that far like I normally do. But absolutely boiling. I've had to take my jacket off. can't go tight into that margin because there's a lip of reeds there that I need to kind of get round. It's hard with these 10-foot rods. Let's get that back over to the aerator. It's not a long chuck, that, so it's nice and easy to get it in the same spot. Just a little gentle overarm lob there to the aerator. Yeah, folks, we're in down this margin. Must only be small. Wonder if it's a crucian or something. I have had crucians down that margin before. You might think this is overkill, this setup, folks, for these kind of fish, but there's some really good fish in High Haze. That's a nice bream. Absolutely nailed in that bottom lip. Let's reuse the old Cocoscope wafter. Waste not, want not. Even though I've got about 30 kilograms at home. There we go. We need to start buying stuff off the website, folks. Can't move for bloody wafters and pellets at home. Oh, folks, it's absolutely boiling. I'm getting a sweat on. I just want to say, while I've got a minute between fish, if you are enjoying the video, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and it means a lot to my dad, to the people that do subscribe to the channel. Well, there's my break over. Another bream, folks. Another nice one. Oh. Really good slab. Let's have a closer look at it. Look at that. Another beauty. Right, as I was saying before, I was interrupted by that bream. As a thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel, I'll be giving away some WestysAngling Cocoscope wafters and also the glaze in today's video. All you need to do to be in with a chance of winning is make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the video with an angling friend, make sure you've commented down below in the comment section, and also follow me on the WestysAngling Facebook or Instagram page. And if you do have a TikTok account, I'm also on TikTok. So if you do those 4 small things for me, you'll be in with a chance of winning some WestysAngling glaze and wafters. What I usually do is when I pick the winner from the comment section, I'll reply to your comment telling you that you've won and to message me on the WestysAngling Instagram or Facebook. That way that I know that it's you and we can organise getting you the giveaway sent out. So if you're ever wondering who's won, I do pin the winning comment at the top of the comment section, and I'll also declare it on the WestysAngling Instagram and Facebook as well, so that you know who the winner is. Nice slab, folks. Ooh. Yeah, nice bream that. Getting a really good size in here now. Nice bream, Dad. Not Burkacre size bream, but still nice bream. Still a lovely fish. Look at that. Cracker. Catch them all day long, folks. Dried up a little bit in the sun, these pellets. Still fine though. Put a splash of water in them, I think. Get this back down the margin first. Try not to step on my net. That's my longest serving net handle ever, that, folks. They usually don't last long before I step on them or break them or the ends fall off. I don't have any luck with landing net handles, but I've had this one a good few months now. Old trusty leader one. This was donated to me.
Is it any size on the Tench, do we know?
Yeah, the Tench got to about £5.
Good, yeah, that's nice. That'll do me.
Some subscribers there. Look at this Tench, it's a nice one. This is more like it, they're getting better. Oh, it's slippery, this one. Look at it go. Starting to get a hump back, that one. That's a nice Tench, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think, that? £3?
Oh, at least, yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it's a bloody lively one though. Been nibbled that by somewhat, definitely. On the corker scope, let's see if it'll play a ball. Come a bit closer. Make it look bigger, Dad. Make it look bigger. Oh, I can't get it. It's just too. It's too. There we go. Oh, it's playing ball now. Happy days. I've had a good few fish so far. I've been fishing about an hour. There's a nice Tench. Take them. That'll do us. Oh God, I wish I'd have brought some water with me today. Bit stupid really that I've not. Absolutely gasping, and that coffee's just not hitting the spot. It's making me more dehydrated, I think. Now I am catching on both rods, but the most fish today have been on the coker scope. Nice Tench, Dad. They're heading in the right direction for you anyway, aren't they? Nice one.
Pineapple, yeah.
On the pineapple. I've had most of mine on the coker scope today. Mine's actually swapped these rods over next cast because I can see a little bit of movement there where I fed up next to them reeds before. So I'm going to have probably the left hand rod over to the aerator, and then I'll have this right hand rod here next to these reeds. But I'll give it another few minutes and then I'll recast. But got a nice bit of cloud coverage now, which is what we want. Put a few more pellets down that margin, folks. I'm also just going to add a touch of water to these as well. Oh, yeah, Dad. I'll let you hold that. It's on.
Come on.
Must have been a small fish. I've got a feeling that these eyed are plaguing us today again. Right. This, folks, is going to give us a good opportunity. Are you just filming my crotch, Dad? Are you going to actually film my face? No? For God's sake, I tell you what, I'm going to sack my cameraman, honestly. Another one. See his little eye.
That's exactly how I've been all morning.
Yeah. That. Well, at least you're filming my face now and not my crotch. Thanks, Dad. So, when me and my dad are on the bank, one of our biggest frustrations sometimes is watching people cast, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a little quick demonstration on what you need to do when you're casting, especially with the method feeder or when you've got a lead on or anything like that. So I'm just going to fill this method feeder up, and then I'm going to get it out over by the aerator. Took me wafter that last fish, Dad.
I've had that 2 or 3 times this morning. Very strange.
That little hide.
Oh, it must be.
Yeah.
Or bigger hide.
Absolutely jam-packed with them in here, isn't it, Dad?
Oh yeah, it's solid with them.
So sometimes when I'm watching people cast, they've got the feeder or lead right near the rod tip like this, and this is probably the worst way that you can cast. It causes 2 problems. One of them is it puts a lot of pressure on your rod tip when you're casting out, doesn't it, Dad?
Yeah, it does. And if you get a snag on that top ring,
yeah,
and you cast out with it like that, it'll break your rod tip.
Or you're going to get a crack off and your feeder will go flying, and then that's obviously dangerous for the fish as well.
Yeah.
So we don't want that. Now, what it also does is it gives you less control over where you're casting, okay? Because you just can't release it in time. So what you should do is, I'll give you that back, Dad. You want probably that much line out.
3 to 4 foot.
Yeah. So I would say about 3 foot there.
Yeah, that's about 3 foot.
4 foot's probably a little bit too much. So you can see that against the white sky there, but that's how much you want out. You want about 3 foot out. And if you're casting longer distances, potentially even more.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow you to safely cast and direct where your feeder wants to go. And then what you want to do is obviously open your bail arm, point your rod in the direction of where you want to cast to, and then you're just going to give it a light lob, obviously if we're on a small commercial like this, straight up and back, and then release gently. And there you go. Now what you can also do is what I did there, and that's feather your cast. So as your feeder's in the air, if you gently touch the spool of your reel, it'll slow it down on impact, and that stops all the pellets coming off the feeder. And then what you want to do is you want to tighten up to that, so sink your line, and that's that. But that's how you safely cast, and I see so many people casting incorrectly, don't you, Dad? That's probably one of the biggest things that frustrates us when we're out on the bank.
Yeah, it just makes it very difficult for you.
Yeah, it does. It's not good for your rod, and it makes it really difficult for your casting. So
just give yourself that 3 foot and drop to your feeder.
yeah,
Happy days.
yeah, good to go. Right, so I'm going to move this rod over, and I'm going to put a rod down here to these reeds here on the right. Now there is another way of casting as well, folks, and I'll show you that in a minute, which is an underarm cast, which can be a little bit easier over short distances than a overarm cast. Well, straight off that, and this is back over to the aerator. Little bream, little skimmer. So many bubbles coming up over there near that aerator. Bang on the spot, that. I'm in down here to these reeds where I've been feeding up. Oh, Daddy, yeah. You want to come? No, that's right. It's a good fish, this one. Yeah, it's carp. I know I got a carp down there after feeding it up all day. It's only a small one. What's that one feel like? Little. There we go, folks. Little chunky F1. Very typical of the F1s here at High Haze. They've got these orange flecks in them. Another little one. Well, folks, I think we can safely say the Westies Wafters are working. And I can honestly say I've not seen anybody else catch on the lake. I think the fella, oh yeah, he's just putting a fish back now. I think the fella over there fishing to the reeds, he's had a couple. But other than that, it's very quiet. Another bream. Even though I'm catching over there to the aerator, I am just going to drop it down this margin again. Have another go there. I usually have probably 3 or 4 swims that I'm feeding up, so you can rest the swim for like 15-20 minutes, and you'll usually find when you put your feeder back in that swim, it goes off pretty quickly because the fish get the confidence again. And they're still feeding off the pellets that have come off the feeder in that spot. Oh, that's a big carp. You see them moving about, but they're up in the water. I think pellet wagglers, zigs, that kind of thing would do really well here at High Haze. There's no surface fishing allowed, so you need to be inventive in how you target them. I think you'd absolutely clean up with bread on the top, but bread's not allowed, surface fishing's not allowed, so I think pellet waggler is the next best thing. If I have caught carp here, I think I did really well last year on worm about 6 inch deep. using a pellet waggler. Just got to be inventive, folks. But obviously, because we mostly fish method feeder, that's why we miss them. Because for whatever reason, they just don't tend to feed on the bottom here. Not like they do at other fisheries, where you're getting nothing but carp down the margins or whatever. Just think it's really interesting how every single fishery fish is different, and you've got to approach each fishery in a different way. That's what keeps it interesting. Question for you folks, how do you feel about people playing music in the radios when they're out on the bank? I could tell you my answer to this question, but I'll probably get banned on YouTube, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let you tell me your opinions. But all I'm saying is, what's wrong with using headphones? I think one of the biggest benefits coming out fishing is obviously the peace and quiet, listening to the sounds of nature, and can't really do that when you've got BBC One blaring, can you? Right, let me show you how to underarm cast. So you want quite a bit of line out this time, a little bit more than if you was doing an overarm cast. Probably about half your rod's worth, and then you want to flick back and then forward. You see how that aerator's being bumped by fish? So we want to be tight to that if we can. So up and then flick forward. Point your tip forward like that. Takes a little bit of practice, that one. But the feeder tends to hit the water a little bit more gently than an overarm cast. And you can actually be more accurate with it once you've got your eye in. And you've practiced it a few times. There you go, folks, I've got a mouthful of wrap. Ah! Oh, it's an heavy skimmer that, you know. Yeah, it's a good bream, this one, Dad. Heavy. Proper slab, that. Really deep fish, this one. For a bream, anyway. I have to get the bream slime off my hands before I finish my wrap, I think. Probably a little bit early to be having my wrap, but I'm starving. It didn't give rain today, but it's certainly putting it down now. Every time I put my shorts on, it chucks it down. Had a bit of a drop back on that one before. Be a little bream or something. Should probably recast it, but I'm being lazy. It'll still be fishing. Getting a lot of these kind of bites today, and so is my dad. And basically what I think it is the hide. So there's some half decent hide in here, and then there's some smaller hide in here, and they don't quite hook themselves properly, especially when you're fishing with bigger wafters, and it can cause that kind of like bit of a bite type run, a bit of a false indication. So they're probably tugging on the wafters, but the mouths aren't quite big enough to get them fully in, as well as the hook. So the hook's not connecting. I'm not going to bother next them reeds because there's obviously no carp in that swim. Looks like a day of tench and bream today. Obviously I had a few F1s, but mostly tench and bream. Surprised I've not had any crucians. Usually when we fish this top end we have quite a few crucians. down the reeds. It's a Bream bite, if ever I've seen one before. It was playing a tune on my bite alarm, that one. It was up and down. It's another Stanley lead gone. Just trodden on it again. I've just about bent it back into shape. I've got 3 spur lids at home because I know what I'm like. That's the Tench. Let the other one going off. A really bright gold tench this on the coca scope. Oh, nailed. I'm going to recast this one because I keep getting little bleeps on it. Even though I'm still catching, I just want to give these a go. I've not tried these on high haze yet. So I'm going to keep the other one on coca scope and I'm going to put this one on sweet candy. Oh, feisty one on the sweet candy. That's a violent run. Must be a small F1 this or something, surely. Yeah. All F1s though, no actual carp.
I'd be happy with that, mate.
I've had them like this all day. They're some crackers today.
No, have you done better?
Oh, yeah, fishery. I've got second fishing like that.
Looks like it might be another nice bream. Dead weight. Look at the colours on this bream, folks. It's like iridescent. Can you see that on the camera? Look at that. It's a bream bite. I'm just about to cast my other rod out. Is it a bream? Oh no, might be a chub. Chub or an hide? I think it's an hide, that, folks. It's a good one though. What is it? Hide, that, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
I don't think mouth's quite big enough for a chub, is it?
No.
Ooh. That, folks, is an absolutely stonking hide. Yeah, it is. On the method feeder as well. Power Pineapple, I think, is definitely winning today in terms of the flavours. It's very close between that and the coca scope though. Ooh. That's a good bream, that, folks. It's a good bream for here anyway. Wow. That's a really good fish. It's a nice fish, that, Dad, actually.
Yeah. For here, decent size for in here.
I'd probably say it's 3.5.
Yeah.
Something like that. Not far off. With a nice hide, I think. No. It's a roach. That, folks, is a nice roach, that. Let's go see what my dad's got here. It's not one of the usual F1s for in here, is it? Quite a dark one. So my dad's using the pineapple glaze and also the pure molasses. Oh, right, I'll get my rods back out, Dad, I think. What is it? Roach, I think. And there's a shoal of roach moved in round me. Second one, that. Thought this was a carp with the way it shot off then. Yeah, another bream. What I'll probably do at the end of this session is cut these method feeders off and strip off probably 10 meters of line, ready to go for the next session. I'll probably do that every few sessions or so, and then change the line on my reels probably once every 18 months, something like that. Well folks, we're going to call it a day there and get packed up. Had a pretty decent session today on the old Westies, Wafters and Pellets. I must admit I've had a much better session today than my dad has, fishing one peg next to me down there, and I've honestly no idea why that is. The fish just seem to be on this side for whatever reason. I've had absolutely loads of bream and loads of tench. I've not filmed them all. I'm surprised I've not had any crucians today. Usually get a few crucians down this margin on this side, but none of them today. I've had some nice hide, I've had some nice roach. So really good mixed species fishing, a couple of F1s. So I really can't complain with how today's gone. I've had a really enjoyable session, and only a morning session at that. It's just coming up to about 1 o'clock now, and yeah, definitely worth coming out for. And as always, I just want to say thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe and follow us on the WestysAngling Instagram and Facebook page for your chance to win some WestysAngling wafters, Cocoscope wafters and Cocoscope glaze. And we'll see you in the next WestysAngling, folks, and hopefully get some carp on the bank, because I'm craving catching a few carp.